3, Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell has a promise for Democrats.
It would be my intention to take up legislation.
Rain, high 52. For tonight, cloudy with a shower or two, low 37. Tuesday, cloudy.
And we are on the throttle right here. It's just after the noon news. I'm Jim Funderburg. Along with me today, Dwayne Hancock. And Dwayne, we brought a guest in here today, a young gentleman that's been here before. But I think
yes,
the last time we saw him, I think he had a little more hair.
Well, yeah. I think I don't know what happened. Maybe he got a new cat or something. Or I mean, you almost didn't notice him. Shaved and cut his hair.
I mean, he came in looking like that business guy that he wants to be right now, out on the road and everything. And I didn't hardly recognize him. So why don't you introduce him to everybody?
Well, for those of you that don't know, we have Tyler Perry with us, a.k.a. Shady for a lot of people that know him. And Tyler just landed a new gig as announcer for the ICAR International Championship Auto Racing All-Star Modified Tour for the 2018 season. I know Tyler, he was talking to me the weekend that they offered it to him, and we did some talking, and I know he can do it, and it's kind of a big gig for him, kind of his first gig behind the mic at the racetrack besides the Throttle Master deal that he is doing, and it's got to be pretty exciting there, Tyler.
Yeah, I'm real excited about this opportunity. Dave called me. He actually messed with me a little bit and told me that he heard somebody was talking, or I was talking crap about him. I said, "No, Dave." I said, "I never said a bad word about you in my life. I don't know what you're talking about." He's like, "I'm just kidding." He's like, "You want to be the announcer for the modified series?" I said, "What?" Well, so that was kind of how the whole deal got started. And, I thought about it and talked to a couple people and decided it was a real good opportunity that I probably shouldn't pass up. Let me learn a lot more and put my marketing skills to the test.
Well, and you do a good deal, this Throttle Mashers deal that you started. I mean, your social media presence is huge, and I know you've been doing. I mean, you start seeing all this stuff for iCar now that you've took over. I think you're doing some of the social media stuff there too.
Yep.
And I mean, that's huge. I mean, for not just being an announcer, but to do that, and I mean. That's definitely going to open up some doors and get a lot of people interested in iCar because, one, you got a lot of connections to begin with.
Yeah, that's one thing I feel like has been to my advantage. Through racing and just the different jobs I've had and everything, I know a lot of people. And I just got off the phone the other day with a guy who I've actually never met in person, but he said that he liked, what I was saying on Facebook and the input that I had, and I had a 25-minute conversation with him basically about nothing but positivity. And he's really well known in the racing world. I'm not going to say his name, but it made me feel good, to get support from somebody like that.
Right.
That's been around racing, their whole life.
Well, let me guess, man. Was it Sammy Swindell?
Yeah.
No. No, it wasn't Sammy.
Okay, the heck with you then. Go
Good guess.
Go on with your conversation.
Good.
I'm not interested anymore.
But no, I mean that's kind of what we talked about too before you took the gig. You talked to me and that, and just your knowledge alone too. I mean, that speaks volumes, and I mean I think this is just the beginning for you. Like I said, you already got people like that. People already know who you are, and the social media deal, and that's something this iCar Mod Series could use because you're gonna get guys that go to 90% dirt races like me come to the iCar deal now just to listen to you and make fun of you, throw snowballs at you, or drink beer or something.
Yeah. After
Play the drinking game every time you screw up.
Don't do that. You'll be looped up before the end of the night's over with. No, after I posted online, that gig was offered to me and I accepted it. I had a lot of people inbox me on the internet and a lot of texts and a lot of phone calls, and people were excited that Dave asked me to do that. And they said, I think you'll be a good representative for the tour, and some of the drivers I've talked to, everybody's been nothing but supportive, and that makes me feel good that that I'm in that position and I get to have my opportunity to make the series be seen.
Right. Well, and a lot of these guys, and that's another thing. I've traveled a lot of racetracks, and you can tell good announcers to some that aren't the greatest, but one of the biggest thing is things about these guys that you can relay over the PA system, especially in downtime.
Right.
That draws interest because some people become fans over the guy's personal interest, or if he was in the service, or if he did,
exactly.
he might have saved somebody's life. He might have been a fireman that saved 3 kids out of a burning house or something. And you know that stuff about all these people.
Yep.
Or if you don't know them, you're gonna find out because you're gonna be down there.
I've already been working on that, sending out emails. Yeah, it's that's one thing that I like to touch on a lot, and people don't realize this. There's such a big gap between the pit side of things and the grandstand side of things.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of these people, they'll go to the racetrack, 6, 7, 8, even all season times a year, and they won't even know what the guy that they're rooting for actually looks like.
Right, exactly.
And I'm trying to bridge that gap, and just by these drivers listing their occupation. A welder, a salesman, whatever it might be,
right.
That might help fans relate to them and say, okay, and realize that they're just normal, everyday people like me and you that go to work every day, and this is their hobby. They're not a superstar, and a lot of people are afraid to go talk to these drivers because, they feel like they're on another level or they won't talk to them, or you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's my vision to bridge the gap between the grandstand side and the pit side, and also try to figure out how to generate new fans for the sport in general.
Right. Well, it gets a personal connection with the drivers, with the fans. Like I said, some guy might be like, oh, wow, I'm a machinist like he's a machinist or whatever, so I'm going to check this, pay more attention to this guy or whatever, however it may be. And that's something real cool, like I said, that sometimes fans don't get nowadays, especially because a lot of announcers just, hey, here's car number 15, whatever and tell who it is. But if you get the personal interest in there, like I said, it creates more fans because then, this guy might be like, hey, Joe in that car, he's the same thing we do, and he tells everybody at work, let's go down and watch Joe race this weekend.
Exactly.
And stuff. And there you get more fans. Then the social media aspect, they start adding them on Facebook as friends and all that. And
Yep.
it all spawns from there.
Yep, exactly. You got to start somewhere, and once you start at the beginning, and I say this all the time, everybody that hangs around me knows that I say this, but once you get more fans, you're going to get more fans because they're going to tell their friends.
Right.
So if you work on a fan base of 10 people, next year you might have 20, and then you might have 40, and then you might have 400.
Right.
I mean, there's guys that sell a lot of T-shirts every year.
Yep.
Not so much on my aspect of things, but on your side of things especially.
Oh, yeah, and it's amazing, just like this show. Sometimes we think, there's hardly anybody listening or talking, but I'll go somewhere, just like a Chili Bowl. Here I'm at, the biggest indoor event in the world all year, and there'll be people that I haven't seen for a year, and they'll be like, hey, we listened to your show, and they're from California or Minnesota or wherever,
Yep,
and you're
it's
like,
awesome, isn't it?
yeah, it's like, really? Or you get a driver that, I had that happen. There's a driver I was walking through the pits, and we started talking, and I was talking to him about some other stuff, and he really, we really didn't know each other, and somebody said something about hey, Dwayne, where you go? And he goes, oh, do you got that radio show? It's like,
yeah.
Like, are you, who paid you to say that,
Yeah,
it's
right.
like,
Yeah.
I think it's all Funderburg is what it is.
You creeping on me?
Yeah.
It is.
But
I'm propping him up,
Yeah.
Tyler. You can understand that. I'm
But-
basically the guy that's holding this thing together every week.
Yeah,
Right.
I know.
Sitting back here twisting the knobs and just being quiet.
Right. So, speaking of the drivers, who do you got any guys committed or guys who's running that car deal this year?
I don't have a full list,
Right.
because
Right. Well,
people don't like to respond to me, so I'm just gonna have to keep hounding them. But
There you go.
yeah, no, I've been in contact with a lot of drivers, basically, literally from the day that I accepted the position, and there's a couple other guys that haven't previously ever owned a modified that I know are planning on coming to at least a few shows to get their
Cool.
feet wet with us. I can say this: there's gonna be full fields at every show.
That's good.
We're working on some deals for Bristol right now. We're hoping to make that spectacular.
yeah.
We don't
How
know.
how excited are you to be able to go announce at Bristol?
Man, that's
In-
one
in
of
May.
the things Dave said in the beginning when he asked me this. He said, "You can't pass this up. You're going to get to announce at Bristol." And I thought about that, and I'm like, man, if you just think about the history at that place and me having the opportunity to do that, that's just an honor in
Oh,
my
yeah.
eyes. There's
Oh, yeah.
legends. Many legends have walked
Oh,
through
yeah.
that place.
Well, and I've announced a few races. I don't know if it's fortunate or unfortunately for the fans that was there that night, but I've done it a few times, and it's a little different because on the downtime you got to think of something to speak of, so you really got to know the drivers. But that's where I think I did all right on those nights because I know a lot about the sprint car drivers I was doing, but you know a lot about these guys, and basically you got to. The only thing you can't do is talk like we usually do when we're not on.
Right. Yeah.
That's about the only thing. I about slipped up. One of my friends crashed hard that one night, and good thing the microphone went off quick.
Bleep button.
Yeah.
Tell me, for being the rookie in this bunch and the green guy, the iCar series, give me a little feel for it. What are we doing for those of us who are sitting out there and just learning this business right now?
Basically, it's an open wheel modified. They run, that's what it's called.
Okay.
There's no fenders on the car, so to speak. The front tires are open.
Yeah.
They run small black Chevys generally. Some guys run some Ford stuff.
Okay.
It actually, the history of how it got started is pretty unique, but in time, it's been one of the classes that really has remained almost the same, kind of since the early 90s at least.
Okay. All right. How did it get started? Go take us back to the history, Tyler.
I don't actually know technically how they
Okay.
they've been running modifieds
Right.
for a long time, but
Sure.
this particular version of them, and that's one of the reasons I think car counts are where they are going to be this year is because A, the economy is a little better.
Sure.
And C, you know, when you change rules, it costs money. So if you can have rules the same for that amount of time, then there's going to be more parts available at better prices, and it's just you're just going to see more cars.
Oh yeah, and I think the rules stayed the same, like you said, for a long time.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
you'll
there's
see
little
that.
tweaks here and there, but for the most part, you know, they've overall been the same.
And
They
car
still
counts
run.
Okay, I'm sorry. Keep going.
They still run stock front clip.
Okay.
You can't have any. Okay, you can't have coilovers. So essentially, your spring and your shock has to be separate
Yep.
on the front
Just
of
a
the car,
basic
like
car
a
shock
regular
about,
suspension.
Okay. All right.
I don't really know what else to be able to say on the radio without having a diagram or anything. You know.
But yeah, basically it's a stock front clip, like he said, and I mean the bodies are, you know,
just go to the iCar Facebook
Yeah.
page and check
get
it
a feel
out.
for it. Okay.
I post stuff on there a lot.
Okay. And car counts in a race like that, how many cars will show up for most of the iCar races?
Honestly, I'm expecting a minimum of about 18 per race right now, is
Okay.
what I'm
Yep.
guessing. Because there's a lot of guys that are saying, you know, I'm going to try to hit, you know, this race, and this race. I have several guys who've committed to the whole season, several guys who committed to the first several races, and then depending on how they do and their budget allows, they're going to finish out the season with us.
Right.
But I'm saying overall, we're going to have 18 cars a race minimum.
and it's only 2 months away before season opener. I mean,
Yeah,
March
right.
24th and 25th at Lucas Oil Speedway down just outside of Indianapolis, right next to the Lucas Oil drag strip. Nice little oval, 5/8 mile oval, and that's a 2-day show. And
Yep, Saturday and Sunday.
yeah, and that's one thing that I like about the iCar. They have some Sunday afternoon shows, and to me that draws people because you got your Friday night and your Saturday night tracks, and your locals going to all those. But if you have a Sunday afternoon show, it gives a guy like me or Chad Wilson or whoever that races to go watch these guys.
An open
race
opportunity,
too.
yeah. And that's a good way to draw new fans to the series, I think, too.
Definitely, for sure.
All right, we're on the throttle right now with Tyler Perry, and we're talking iCar and also Tyler's new adventures that he's going to go through. We've got to step away, guys, and pay a couple bills right now. On the Throttle is always brought to you by Lob Auto Parts, Suburban Auto, AJ Door, Brian Ford Lincoln, Jason Dietz Customs and Collisions, Trailers and Trailer Repair, and Fast Forward Motorsports. And we'll be back to talk more right after this timeout.
Yeah, dude. I wouldn't be surprised if our average car could.
Suburban Auto, customer satisfaction is our #1 priority.
And we're back here on the Throttle with Tyler Perry with us today, and going to have an interesting year, a little bit of a difference in a change for you, Tyler, this year too. A few things that are going on that aren't always been the same. You're going to have a fun year, I would think.
Yeah, there's a lot of things going right now, and I think that my life pretty much got shook upside down in the last month. But it's all for the better, you know. Positive, just keep bettering yourself and work on doing what has to be done.
Well, that's one thing I've noticed. Each day, you got a positive saying on Facebook now.
Yeah, mostly.
I like that. Tyler's a lot of fun when he's positive, and
yeah.
I was supposed to tell you, Chad Wilson says hi. He's actually listening today. So
what
says,
got
hey,
those?
Shady, how you doing?
I've watched those and wondered that myself, man. What's caused the turnaround like that?
Man, you know, I was just sitting at home one day, and I'm like, what am I doing?
Uh-huh.
I'm not doing anything.
Okay.
I go to work, and I come home, and I pay bills, and I was bored.
Sure.
I didn't feel like I was doing anything. I didn't feel like I was making my life better.
Okay.
I just had to do something.
Sure.
So I decided to figure out what I needed to do. I didn't even know what to do, and then I just got online and just kind of started poking around at some things and figured out that I needed to change my attitude towards life a little bit. And you know that once you do, you really start thinking differently, and you see the world in a different light, and it makes things a lot better.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Well, I mean, look like this. You get positive. You got this deal going on. You're going to be traveling around. Some of these races getting paid. Go sit up in the booth. So
Yeah.
if it's hot, you're going to have air conditioning. If it's cold, you're going to have a heater.
I hope.
You're going to have, and you get to go. I mean, you get to go to places like
that's
Lucas
the cool
Oil
thing.
Speedway.
I'm really excited about all the connections that I'm going to get to make. You know, when I've already known or met a lot of the guys I'm going to be around.
Right.
It's all the new connections, as far as personally getting to talk to new track owners, other series owners, just people that are involved in racing. I like racing. I've always been involved in racing. It's what I want to do.
Right.
I mean, my dream is to be able to make money just going racing. That's it.
And you get to travel, and there's some big places, like I said, like Lucas Oil Speedway. Look at the history there. I mean,
oh yeah,
from everything. Winchester. I mean, that place is very historical, and you get to announce there. And we said Bristol, but then you get the local tracks. For people that's listening that want to come listen to you or we'll see a race. April 14th, Bear Field, over to Fort Wayne.
Yeah.
Then June 15th at Toledo. That's another place that's
those are our closest shows. Those are our closest shows to where I live. I know a lot of people have said they just want to come out just to hear me on the microphone, so I don't know if that's good or scary, but
we're going to have our own Tyler Perry fan club.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Funderburg's going to be part of it. We're going to all be shirtless and type Tyler. Or, paint Tyler on our chest, like they do at basketball games.
Or in my case, the chest is falling down closer to the waist.
Well, maybe it won't be on our chest. It could be. We can't tell him all our secrets.
Oh, that's
hopefully
terrible.
It's a nice night race because it'll be a full moon.
We also have a couple shows in Michigan. Saturday and Sunday, it's a 2-day show, April 28th and 29th. We're going to the cabin. We're having the Cabin Fever 70 at Birch Run Speedway, which is the former Dixie Speedway. For those of you that are familiar with racing, that's in Birch Run, Michigan. And then we also have a couple shows at Auto City Speedway in Clio, Michigan. Saturday, June 2nd, and Saturday, July 14th.
And that's up by Flint, I believe.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, it's yep.
So I've never been to Birch Run or Dixie or Auto City, so I was looking at that Sunday show. I might have to.
You can ride with me, buddy.
Okay, we'll do it.
Yeah,
There
it's
you
a good
go.
time. I'm
See,
excited.
Man, you've already got a free ride here.
I know it.
That works out well, too.
It works out great, and that's what's cool because Tyler. Dave was smart by getting Tyler because of his connection, but Tyler's going to draw people. You can say what you want, but Tyler knows people. People is going to just come out. If nothing else, just try to make fun of him.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that won't happen.
Because he's never gave anybody any crap over the years.
Never.
That will not happen, I'm sure, Tyler. You're a much more upstanding fellow than Dwayne Hancock.
But I think
that's what happens to Dwayne when he's out, but it probably won't happen to you.
Yeah, it might.
That's true. I mean, look what happened when they showed my ugly mug on Mav TV at the Chili Bowl. Facebook's blowing up, my phone's blowing up.
Yeah. There's a lot of young ladies in Russia right now that are trying to get in touch with him at this point.
That's right. Maybe I won't have to use a mail order one. They'll just come over voluntarily.
Yeah, they're just going to hop on a plane and come see you one of these days. Yeah. That's terrible. That is funny. Well, Tyler Perry's our guest here today. We need to step away one more time, guys. When we come back, I want to talk about some of the other news that's going on around racing, because I know just because we're somewhat in the off season right now, Dwayne will have a number of things that are going on that I'm sure a lot of people will be interested in. So after this timeout, we'll come back and let you know what's going on around the racing community here in Northwest Ohio.
Why wouldn't you?
At Suburban Auto, customer satisfaction is our #1 priority.
And we're back here on our last segment of On the Throttle with Dwayne Hancock and Tyler Perry right now. And guys, let's look around. What is going on for the area racers that they might be interested in?
Actually, for some of the people, which I know I seen sprint car driver Brian Smith from Fremont went over to it. Sandusky Speedway actually got their annual hangover race in this last Saturday, which weather is pretty decent. And Ron Miller, Oakshade regular, he actually won the top division there. I don't know if they call them the Champagne Stocks or the Moon Stocks or whatever. 14 straight years he's won the A main now at Sandusky at the Hangover.
Oh, wow.
Corey McCaffrey won one of the other divisions, and Michael Parks, but sounded like their car count was down a little bit, but fans were there. You've seen them throwing. It's cool to see the video. They're going by, and fans were throwing snowballs at the drivers, and they get a free hot dog if they hit the flagman, and just all kind of fun stuff. I mean, so that's pretty cool. Then the Buckeye Outlaw Sprint Boss Series Sprint Car, their schedule came out yesterday, and it looks pretty normal. Some of the tracks around here, they're Lyman June 8th, Fremont, Ohio, May 5th, Fremont June 16th. 2 dates in Montpelier, Indiana this year, June 9th and September 8th. 2 at Waynesfield, July 7th and August 4th. So looks like another good 1920 shows for the Boss Series next year.
Oh, wow.
And So on your iCar deal here, to finish up with Tyler a little bit, I mean, is there any more potential races to be added or anything? Is that pretty set schedule? Or
there's one on the schedule that's a TBA right now. I can't really divulge any details, but I hope we get this race scheduled.
It could be pretty good. There's some things cooking, and you know, like I said, there's drivers. Got some sponsors looking at that series, I think, already. And
we're still working on them. If anybody wants to come on, actually, when I get home from here, I'm gonna start sending out contingency packets. So if anybody is listening and has a business and wants to jump on board with what we're doing, we're gonna be doing some exclusive kind of walkthrough videos about the cars and whatnot that we're going to be putting on social media and really trying to help represent our sponsors. And, you know, a lot of race fans, myself especially, do patronize those who support motorsports first. So that's something to think of. But, yeah, if you wanna hop on board with us on this iCar deal, just get a hold of me, Tyler Perry. You can find me on Facebook, or just message the iCar Facebook page, and we'll talk.
Yeah, another thing we want to talk about for a second that's going on. March 10th is going to be the annual Hoserville, Ohio auction, thing that I help do for injured race car drivers. It's going to be at the Bowling Green Mall. They have the big race car show that weekend, and Tyler, I don't know, maybe he might told him he could more than welcome to set up a booth or something too if he wants. If they got some stuff around by then, but
I'm gonna
got that going on.
I'm gonna interrupt Dwayne here for a second. He's been doing this Hoserville deal for a while, and for those of you who don't know what it is, it's a benevolent fund for injured drivers. Okay, so all the money that he collects for this goes right back to any driver. You know, this driver could have been whatever his day job is. He can't afford to feed his family now.
Yep.
And this is what Dwayne does. He puts a lot of time and effort into it. So if you guys want to donate and help out that fund, help out what Dwayne's doing, get a hold of him.
Yeah,
because he does not get enough credit for motorsports and what he does for Hoserville, Ohio.
Well, thank you, Tyler.
Well, I just wanted to let it be known. You talk about it all the time, but you don't ever get the recognition. So now's as good a time as any.
That's true, and we have a Facebook page if anybody does want to donate. And speaking of that, perfect example of what you just said. There's a guy that got hurt at Eldora, Patrick Burns. He's just raced the Silver Crown, so they only race 8-10 times a year. Yep. And he's got a full-time job, wife, and 3 kids. And we sent him some money. He got hurt. Needed ankle surgery and stuff down there at Eldora after a race at the 4 Crown. And, you know, I get a Christmas card. It's a letter. It says Christmas letter. And it's like, from Illinois, and I'm not even thinking, you know, what the hell's this, you know?
Right.
And open it up, and dear Mr. Hancock, this is Patrick Burns telling me that, you know, he is still in a wheelchair till April. And he goes, you know, I got a wife, 3 kids, I can't go to work, I've been in a wheelchair. And he says, money like you guys, he says, I've had a couple people send me money, you guys in one organization. Then USAC has a little benevolence fund too, but he says, that's the only thing that's been keeping me going. He says, I've been off work since September, can't work till next April in a wheelchair. And he goes, I just want to thank you that, you know, a few people helping like that helped my family get fed through Christmas, you know. And then you start realizing, you know, really what that money did.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and we don't do it for glory or anything, and that's, you know, we just do it to help out. But then you see something like that, and like you said, you get to think it's like, wow. I mean,
yeah, the whole deal is super. It's a super feel good story, you know, and it's basically, and I hashtag race fam a lot on my internet, but when I say that, it means more to me than just people I hang out with. You know, that right there is a perfect example of the race family.
Oh yeah,
everybody takes care of everybody.
Yeah, and we are a 501c3, so it's just not some fly-by-night deal. It's hard to keep that 501c3, and this is going to be our 13th or 14th auction. I forget, it's been going on for so long, and we've passed out hundreds of thousands of dollars now to, I think we're up to almost 60 different drivers that's got hurt. And
that's awesome.
And matter of fact, one of the first guys we ever helped, Nick Neighbor, He lives down by Cincinnati. He quit racing. He's retired from racing, but he still this day, whenever he sees me, he seeks me out and talks. He'll tell the story to anybody. Hey, this is what this guy does, and we're actually meeting at the Jamie Johnson concert down in Lawrenceburg, Indiana this weekend.
Cool.
Because we've became personal friends over the deal.
Yeah, that's another thing. That happens when you do things like that.
Yep.
Yeah, amazing. Well, it's an amazing time. Guys, it's about time to wrap this thing up. Tyler, one last time, if somebody really wants more information about the entire iCar series or wants to get a hold of you to be a sponsor or any of those things, how do they reach you, buddy?
Yeah, you guys can just get a hold of me on my personal Facebook page. I'm not hard to find. I'm kind of all over the internet.
Yep.
Or you can go to the iCar Facebook page. Or just get a hold of Dwayne or Jim.
Like I say, get on the throttle one or what, and we can link you up with Tyler. I mean, Tyler and I has been good friends forever, so we'd like to help him out on this deal and promote it all we can. And this won't be the last time we have him on. We'll gotta get some updates throughout the year, and we might even we got On the Throttle live Facebook page where we might even have to shoot some stuff from some of these races for you too.
I think so too. I think that'd be a whole lot of fun. Well, Tyler, again, best of luck, buddy. Thanks for stopping by today.
Right on. I appreciate it, guys. Enjoy
your dream. It sounds like you got things heading in the right direction right now. It's going to take a whole lot of work and effort, I know, and you know that. But at the same time, that's how dreams come true, buddy.
Yep, one step at a time.
I think it's just going to open up a huge door. This might be the next guy we see on Mav TV or Racing Boys or somewhere. He's going to aim high. I've seen Tyler. He's going to break the internet with this
in a good way.
That's right. Exactly.
All right.
Oh, that's all there is, right? Yep. Good ways. Yep.
Dynamite. That'll wrap it up for today, man. It's 20 minutes before the hour of 1 o'clock. Big thank you again to our sponsors: Lob Auto Parts, Suburban Automotive, AJ Door, Brian Ford, Jason Deach, Customs Collisions, Trailers and Trailer Repair, and Fast Forward Motorsports. And we'll be back again next Monday, right after the noon news, with a little more On the Throttle for you each and every Monday, right after that 12 news, right here in the Q, 96.5 FM.
Right on. Heck yeah. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Appreciate it. See you March 24th and 25th at Lucas Oil.